Jacob Elordi wants to be taken seriously. Or, at least, he wants to build a career for himself as a serious actor. Elordi made that clear during an interview with Gabriella Paella at GQ, which honored him as one of their Men of the Year of 2023. Elordi's first role was as Noah Flynn in 2018's The Kissing Booth, released by Netflix and the first in a trilogy. The movie was a commercial success by Netflix's opaque standards, but throughout the interview, you get the sense that Elordi doesn't care much for it. Scratch that. He says flat out that he doesn't care for it, saying, quote, "I didn't want to make those movies before I made those movies. Those movies are ridiculous. They're not universal, they're an escape," end quote. The Kissing Booth and its sequels, creatively titled The Kissing Booth 2 in 2020 and The Kissing Booth 3 in 2021, are teen rom-coms. The movies weren't reviewed very well by critics, but then again, it's a much maligned genre, so I can't say that that's surprising. To an extent, his criticism goes without saying and is, I think, slightly harsh. The escape isn't a bug, it's a feature. In this case, and with so many other kinds of movies, it's what people need. After being inundated with bad news from all sides and through all the senses, an escape is a necessary reprieve. That goes double for the target audience of the genre. Teenage girls who, as well as all teenagers, I would wager, have more to deal with now than ever before. Still, Elordi was sanguine about why he did movies that he didn't care much about, saying that he needed a job and the money. He is, insofar as I can tell, not a product or beneficiary of nepotism. Not everyone has parents that can help open the door for them or the resources to continually try something that they want. Sometimes all you get is one go at it, and if that's the case, you need to do whatever you can to get it. He did what he had to do, and it worked out for him, which no one can knock. During the interview, Paella described the Kissing Booth series as a one for me, one for you sort of understanding that's common in Hollywood. You work on a commercial project and then the studio funds, often to a lesser degree financially, your personal project. Elordi knocked that as a trap, mentioning that it can quickly escalate. This was the case for the trio of Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint, who gave up 10 years of their lives for the Harry Potter franchise. I have no doubt that they were paid extremely well, which certainly makes up for some creative lacking, but if Radcliffe and Watson are anything to go by, both were happy to finally be able to try other projects that interested them instead of doing the same thing over and over and over again. After the trilogy ended, Elordi was freed, but there were signs that he wanted to cast a wide net even in the early years. The same year as the first Kissing Booth movie, he appeared in a comedy drama, Swinging Safari. In 2019, he was in an anthology horror movie, The Mortuary Collection, which was very well reviewed. In 2019, he also started appearing as Nate Jacobs in Euphoria, and on for several other roles, each a bit different. 2020's Two Hearts was a romantic drama, while the very excellent Mr. Dundee, released the same year, was a comedy film. 2022's Deepwater was an erotic thriller, 2023's The Sweeties, a drama, and He Went That Way, a crime thriller. Two of his most recent movies came out around the same time and both have been critically well received. First was Sofia Coppola's Priscilla, where he plays Elvis Presley, and for which he got great reviews, though perhaps somewhat tempered after Austin Butler's bravura performance as the selfsame man in 2022's Elvis, directed by Baz Luhrmann. The other is Saltburn, directed by Emerald Fennell. Elordi has been and remains busy with two other movies in post-production. He's been selective about his roles. After being asked to read for James Gunn's Superman movie, Elordi turned it down, saying, "No thank you, that's too much, that's too dark for me." It's a conscious, creative, as well as financial decision made by somebody who is consciously building a career for themselves. Superhero movies are for a lot of people, just not for him. Perhaps it's wise in the current climate, especially after seeing how difficult it is for actors that starred as prominent superheroes to move into other roles. Rather, Elordi's idols are, as the article mentions, the James Deans, the Marlon Brandos, and the Steve McQueens. Sofia Coppola even likened him to actors like Monty Clift and Paul Newman. Jacob Elordi doesn't want to be the next Christian Bale or Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans. He wants to be the next James Dean, the next Marlon Brando. A modern version of the old Hollywood standards. A genuine modern movie star. If he keeps it up, I think that's exactly what he'll be.